Hey, it's Narita here, author and explorer of All That We Are and More. And in this episode, we're going to look at 5 ways you can develop your intuition and why it is so important. So what is intuition anyway? Well, I guess in simple terms, the way I see it is intuition is knowing without knowing. It's following that inner guidance or gut feeling that you have, as opposed to looking outside of yourself and basing your decisions on facts and figures. It's that knowingness of knowing what to do in any given situation without having any other reason to follow it, just more your instinct. And the cool thing is that we all have intuition and we can all develop it. Just like if we want to get fit, we might go to the gym and start working out and developing our strength and muscles that way. Well, the same can be said for intuition. We can use tools that can help us develop our intuition and get stronger each and every day as well. So the thing is intuition is like our inner guidance system. It's our compass. It helps, the more that we're in tune with it, it helps us to navigate our lives a lot easier. And the thing is that in our day and age, yes, I just said day and age, there is so much technology, there is so much distraction, and everyone seems to be busy all the time. And sometimes it can just be easy to miss our intuitive signs. And if we're not tuned into what it is that we need for ourselves and listening and following our guidance, then sometimes it can make life a bit harder. But the more that we're in tune with our intuition and follow our inner guidance, the more that our life can flow and we're able to navigate our life a lot easier. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't be faced with challenges, because it is life. These things happen. What it means, though, is that when we are faced with these challenges, we can tap into our intuition and follow the way of course of action that is best for us to navigate in those challenging times. Also, because there is so much craziness going on in the world right now, it is more important than ever to be in tune with ourselves. We need more people in the world to be their own leaders, to be able to tap into what feels right for them. I mean, you could be sitting there now, you're listening to me like, yeah, I'm getting some of what she's saying, maybe I don't like all of it. That right there is your intuition tapping into what is true for you. So by all means, hear out what people have to say, but at the end of the day, it's so important to tap into what feels right for you so you can follow your own truth and live in alignment with who you truly are. And, you know, like, we can look and watch what's happening in mainstream media and all the fear-mongering and all that sort of stuff that can happen. And even there, we just need to be able to navigate what feels right for us in any moment so we can make the best decisions for ourselves. To also be in tune with, well, does that sound true for me? Does that really sound like truth, what that person is saying? Do I really agree with it? Or do I not? Is someone just telling me something here? And then if they are, you can sort of say, well, hang on a minute, does that feel right for me? And if it does, great, but if it doesn't, then you have the choice to then tap into that intuition of yours and decide whether you want to follow a certain course of action or belief system about something. So again, your intuition is there to give you guidance and help you through your life. And like we said, this episode's all about 5 ways to develop it, but there are so many other ways to develop your intuition. We're just going to tap into 5 today. And the first one being meditation. Now, I'm sure you've heard it millions of times before, and maybe you're already meditating, but there's so many different ways you can do this. So the idea of meditation is to quieten your mind and to allow space for you to sit quietly and have ideas come in when you've cleared your mind, or just to calm you and allow for your intuition and your inner guidance to get stronger. And I mean, there are so many ways you can do it. You can sit quietly with your hands in a mudra position and have no music, or you might have some nice softly playing music. And you've got to be somewhere where you won't be interrupted, by the way. Or you could have a guided meditation, so you're listening to someone telling you, talking you through your meditation and doing it that way. But you can also do walking meditations, standing meditations. You could be meditating while you're cleaning. As long as you're in that sort of space of free flowing and not overthinking and just allowing, that's a really cool place to be for meditation. So the second is journaling or free writing. So here, if you've never journaled before, you might be overwhelmed with, oh, how do I do it? What should I do? There's no rules. There's definitely no rules. It's finding a way that works for you. So one way might be, if you've never done it before, maybe start off with a bit of a gratitude list. And when you're thinking about things that you're grateful for, not only write down, I'm grateful for this thing, but write down why you're grateful for it. What does it give you? Why are you so grateful for it? And start letting yourself write that down. You might also do free writing. So this is a really cool and interesting thing to do. It's just about writing whatever comes out of your head at any given time while you're journaling, but without judging it. So it may not even make sense. Who knows what you could be writing? I don't know. I've got a pen. I'm trying to think of something. It could be anything, but don't judge it. Don't worry about it. And you may not even read it again, but it's just allowing thoughts to come out of your head. And another thing you might try is, if you can't kick off with anything, you might want to ask your higher self a question. So you might ask something like, what is my next best move? Or what is the best decision for me? And just see what comes out. Again, no rules, just follow what feels right for you. Now the third thing is to not force it or overthink it. The thing is, intuition can sometimes be really obvious, like when you know not to walk down a really dark alley at night, your intuition is telling you, don't do that. But a lot of the time, your intuition is quite subtle, and it's just a very slight sign that you might get. So if you're trying to force it or overthink it, you're probably doing yourself a bit of injustice, because you're not giving yourself the space that you need. It's more about allowing things to flow, and then the more that you can pick up on the subtleties of what your inner guidance is trying to tell you, the more you'll start to flow in the way that you need to flow with what it is that you are doing in your life. And with that, you'll start to trust yourself even more. I really feel that when you build your intuition, the more you trust yourself, the more you make better decisions for yourself, and the more yes, you listen to what people have to say, but you still come back to you and you decide what feels right for you. And the fourth one is to notice sudden feelings. So for this one, maybe think of a time where you've walked into a room, or maybe an office at work or something like that, and even though no one's talking, you can feel there's some sort of tension, or the energy just doesn't feel right in there, like someone has just had an argument or some stern words have been said, and you can feel like you can cut the tension with a knife. So even though no one said anything, what you're picking up on is the energy that's still in the room. So for this part of developing your intuition, notice how you feel when you are in different places. Notice the sudden feelings that you get, maybe at the grocery store, or when you're talking to different people in different scenarios and walking into other rooms. What energy are you picking up on? What does it feel like for you? And tune into that and start developing that and noticing that more and more. And last but not least for this video, because yes, there are so many other ways you can develop your intuition, but for this one, the last one we're going to look at is to jump in the shower. Yep, I think some people have their best ideas when they're in the shower. I think it might be that mix of hot, warm water going over, and you're just not thinking about things. And that's when the insights and ideas start to flow. I've heard some people say, I need to get a whiteboard for in my shower so I can write down all my ideas, but that might be a little bit over the top. Maybe have a notebook out beside the bath or something like that. But just be aware of the ideas and the intuition that you have when you're having a shower. And also just other things, like when you're walking out and about, just come back to yourself and notice what's happening when you're in those flow zones. You'll start to notice that you might have downloads and things like that. So as I said before, there's so many other ways that you can develop your intuition. If you do want to explore a little bit further, be sure to check out the links below this video, and you can click through to some cool tools and things on offer down there. And apart from that, I would love to hear from you. What different ways do you use to develop your intuition? How do you tune into what feels right for you? What's been your experience? Please go ahead, leave a comment below and share your tools and ideas and insights with the community and myself below. I'd love to hear from you there. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you think might like it as well. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, please go ahead and hit subscribe and that bell button. That way you'll be notified every time a new video is released. So aside from that, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.